Supporting the guys on the gridiron, apparently not paying off for the ladies on the sidelines. A cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders taking the team to court now and demanding better pay. So she says the women on her squad are only paid $125 for every home game. That's $1,250 for the year. But the paycheck doesn't cover rehearsals, public appearances, or even travel costs. The cheerleader says when you factor all that in, the pay sinks well below minimum wage to less than $5 an hour.
I didn't feel like I could stand up to them at that time. I really wanted to see how the season played out.
Geraldo Rivera is the host of Geraldo at Large and the perfect person to ask about this because you are a lawyer and you like women.
Well, I do. And, you know, when you think of cheerleaders, Gretchen, they're such an integral part of the game, aren't they? They are part of the reason so many watch. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, my goodness, they are an iconic status in this country. And Lacey T, the cheerleader, the 27-year-old cheerleader bringing this lawsuit, has an absolutely sound and valid argument to make. When you factor in they get tanning, they get the gym workouts, they have to pay to get audition, they have to get workshops so they can do well in the audition. They're out of pocket $500 just to get the job, and then when they get it and get paid, some of the teams pay as low as $75. The Washington Redskins reportedly.
You're right.
So you have a situation there where they really are working below minimum wage. So you have a woman on the sidelines working all day long, getting $5 an hour, and a guy on the field getting a couple of $100,000.
I was just going to say the dichotomy between the two is so enormous. I mean, the NFL or the teams certainly have enough money to pay more than minimum wage for these cheerleaders who, by certain standards, bring in more notoriety sometimes than the players. Well,
in Oakland's case, the team has done so badly. I think the Raiderettes are the most attractive thing about that team, clearly. But you have an $8 billion enterprise, the National Football League, and you have a league where they have become expert in exploiting these women in the commercial sense. I don't mean in the negative sense, but in the commercial sense. How? They go to corporate functions. They represent the team in municipal functions. They are often the goodwill ambassadors for the team. They are the face of the team in many, many ways in terms of marketing, cups and T-shirts and so forth. So for them to be compensated at this, you know what is interesting, and I think that you and I were talking about it before we even came on the air, how no one has even thought of this before the lawsuit. You assume that they are being fairly compensated.
So do you think, as a lawyer, that they have a case?
I think they have an absolutely sound case. Now, look at what's happened in the news business. In fairness to the Football League, look at our business. We used to have routinely unpaid interns. Why can you get unpaid interns? Because everybody wants to be on television. Right. Everybody wants to be in the news business. So there's a tremendous demand for those positions. And then you have the hope, ultimately, of being paid adequately to pay yourself back for all the time when you worked for nothing or for very, very little. It's the same thing with these cheerleaders. They want to be on the field. They want to be a part of that glamorous world. So here you have a perfect combination. You have sex and violence. That's the great appeal of football, and yet you have a situation now it is revealed that these women truly are being exploited by enterprises that are so very, even the Oakland Raiders, the least valuable NFL franchise, makes millions of dollars, and here you have a situation, no, I'm just talking economically, in terms of the, their bottom line, but they could certainly afford to pay a living wage to these women.
All right, well, we'll wait and see where this case goes because it's class action, so other teams' cheerleaders could also
There's 26 squads, and they're all watching.
Join in. Geraldo, have a great show this weekend.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Thanks, Geraldo.